took a lot of people to make those Dukes of Hazzard shows, didn't it? Well, maybe that's why they're always so much fun. Hi, I'm Steve Evans, and the fun continues here tonight on TNN's Motor Madness live demolition derby action from Kansas. Now, if you're predisposed to think of derby drivers a bunch of lowlifes just wrecking cars and trying to wreck each other, au contraire, we have found the vast majority to be strong family types, lots of skills, and usually the kids are involved getting that derby car ready. They get to bash out the windows, rip out the rear view mirrors, tear the radio up by its guts. Lots of fun for them. Then the whole family gets together and paints the car with spray cans and rollers, no two alike. Now, here on TNN, our derby coverage has been really good, but tonight we thought we'd push the envelope and add just a touch of class. Yeah.
Well, they drive the thing backwards, turn backwards, 80 mile an hour, plowing into your rear end. When he's behind the wheel, he ain't got no friends. You better tighten up your seatbelt, so it don't melt. Better get ready. Ooh, that looks like it's stung. Congratulations, you just got your bell rung by Bondo Jones. Accident prone, torn in a Buick that was hit head on. He's a demolition derby man. He's all the wreck one car can stand.
We're back with live Demolition Derby on TNN. From I-81 Speedway in Kansas, TNN Motorsports presents live coverage of the Wichita Classical Crash. And no better place to have a classical crash than the Classical Speedway that's been here since 1953. Hi, everybody, I'm Steve Evans, and Wichita is known around the globe as the world center of aviation. So you have to be very careful how you use the word crash around here. So we thought, let's class this deal up. Tuxedos, some of the greatest music ever written, some classical gags along the way. Plus, Doug Rose with his Green Mama jet dragster will burn down a not very classic Oldsmobile Delta 88. It's all strictly for fun, and who better for a show like this than Bob? I gotta rent a what? Try.
Folks, I know you have this image of demolition derbies. You think it's a bunch of guys in overalls and T-shirts with dirt under their fingernails. Well, this is the crew guys for number 66, Dwight Williams. We're here to change the whole image of demo derbies tonight. Dwight, you ever think your guys would look this good coming to a demolition derby?
No, but I'll tell you what, if this is what it takes to be classical, we'll do it.
Guys are doing a wonderful job. They and I both went to Donnie's House of Lint and Tuck Shop to get these outfits for this evening, and I'll tell you, I wouldn't want to have the cleaning bill for these babies when these guys are done here at the Derby tonight. For more on the Classical Crash, let's join the other member of our broadcast crew, Bobby Gerald.
Well, Bob, you can't get much more classic than a World of Outlaws sprint car. Ken Jenkins is one of the premier car builders in the world. He's been building and rebuilding sprint cars for nearly 20 years, but tonight, he's going to drive a demolition derby car. And Ken, why?
Well, as a car builder and a car owner, we've just heard excuses about our products and everything for 20 years. And, you know, the tires are wrong and the motors don't run and the wings are in the wrong place and the dirt's not right. And so we just thought this would be a golden opportunity to get out here and complain on our own.
You're already sounding like a driver. Ken, you know what? When I think of class, and this is a high-class affair tonight, the first guy that comes to my mind is Tim Wilson.
You're right. Tim Wilson's definitely a class act.
That's always on here at 81 Speedway. But I'll tell you, those guys...
Hey, when I signed up for Demolition Derby, nobody told me anything about a cummerbund.
And just so that...
Hey, we're going to be out here today. We're going to be finding some of the classiest dressed people in the state of Kansas. O'Reilly Auto Parts, one of the largest auto parts dealers in the whole Midwest, is giving away a $200 prize to the most classically dressed Demolition Derby fan. And I'm starting out here. We're going to work our way kind of up from the bottom, maybe. This is Ed Miller. Ed, where are you from?
Hudson, Kansas.
Hudson, Kansas. Ed, how much did this cost you to rent this ensemble?
My wife usually buys me a new pair, and by the time 8 cars are built, they're usually trashed.
So she doesn't like to just rent your formal wear. She likes to go ahead and buy it?
Yeah, because you can't return it after you get done with it.
Yeah.
which means a total of $180,000.
Well, Tim, just remember, for a dressy affair, it's always fashionable to arrive a little bit late. So keep looking for those well-dressed folks to give that $200 to. Right now, let's go to our Motor Madness home base in Charlotte, North Carolina. Katie Haas. Okay, we are back at 81 Speedway in Wichita, Kansas, and we're just about ready, Bob Fry, for heat number 1 in the format for tonight's activity. Tonight's classical crash will be 4 heat races, 4 coming out of each heat into a slam-bang main event. And I tell you, this track is a little wet and a little slick.
They did that intentionally, and you're going to see the cars lined up to start this first heat, Steve, from across each other, and then from the sides going into the second heat. It'll be very interesting. Let's get down to the pit area now with Bobby Gerald.
We're down here on the grid, guys, and his family and a lucky penny are going to be riding with Scott Dunn, who has driven 33 hours from New Jersey to be with us to Derby tonight. That's a long drive.
Yeah, it's a long drive to come out here. My father lives out here. I grew up out here in Mulvane, and we came out here to prove we can run with these guys.
Well, he won 2 derbies in New Jersey, so he's going to see if he can match up with the best out here in the plains. And now let's go over to Tim, who's standing by with another derby guy.
Hey, I'm standing by with number 50, Tim Heffley from Claremore, Oklahoma. Tim is an American Airlines mechanic. You can fix cars and planes. What do you got under the hood of this thing, a Boeing?
Well, American wrote me a little JT8 engine to put on these here for tonight. We'll see how good we can do. And I want to say hi to my wife, Robin, and my kids, Benjamin, Mindy, and Miranda, back in Claremore watching this. They wasn't able to come tonight. And all the guys at American Airlines that are sitting home in the recliners, I told them to take a ride with me. We got a camera right here, and I'm going to try and put on a show for them.
Well, we're going to watch you put on a show, Tim. Good luck.
That'll be great. So good luck to him, and he will have that onboard camera. We also have Jason Pedruzzi in this, and he's going to school nearby, and he's racing, and he's doing everything here with the help and love of his father.
Hey, are you going to take it out today sometime? Let's go.
Jason and his dad, Tony, not only work as a team on their demo cars, they're partners in a machine shop business that Tony created for his son when Jason was only 16.
To me, this business was one of the best things that my dad could have ever done for me. You know, I've got real-life business skills as a young man that most people don't get until they get out of college.
I love to work with my son. He's my best partner. He's my friend and a good help. We get along fantastic, and we work together very well. We like to play a little tricks with each other and practical jokes and work on demo cars. So I'm real proud of working with my son.
As you get older, you don't go hunting as often because of school, or fishing as often, or you don't get to go to all soccer games and wrestling meets and that kind of stuff. And that's why, working together, doing the welding and the cutting and the engine work has given my father and I something, with the demo derbies to do together, and he enjoys it. I can see it in his eyes. He's proud of me, and part of doing well and making him happy is part of my satisfaction of the deal. We get things done. When we're working, we get things done. When we're hunting, we get things done. In the demo derbies, we've had a lot of success, and it's a combination. Neither one of us could do it by ourselves. I certainly can't make him run, and I don't know if he's getting kind of old. I don't think he can drive him anymore. So, he's getting kind of brittle in his old age, and we got to watch out for his medical.
Maybe I have to show him one more time. How old am I get?
I don't know.
I have to teach him again. See, he forget that. He got the muscle, I got the experience.
I'm the muscles, he's the brains. That's always how it seems to work. So, Give me a break, man. Ooh, look at that.
No, you ain't got nothing.
I sure do.
This flat.
No,
Pull this. Can you pull it hard? Oh, can you see that?
Oh, see, I'm still going to stop with the
Well, I tell you, Bob, I don't want to arm wrestle either one of them, the dad or the youngster.
I don't want to dress up with either one of them. Let's have their formal underwear. Let's get back into the studio, Katie.
All right, what we're going to do for you guys is pick who we think might just make it all the way through it. This guy, I'm going to pick his car number 41, the 75 Impala. He's been doing it, doing derbies 13 years, and he named his son Denton after a dent in his car.
Unbelievable.
What a guy. He's got a nice car. We'll check him out. Look at the paint job.
Katie, my
Lovely.
pick is going to be Bruce Spears. He drives the number 18, just like Bobby Labonte. He's been doing this for about 10 years, comes from the state of Texas, and as we'll see, has got his car painted up just like the Texas flag.
Well, very loyal guy. Both of them have very eye-catching paint jobs. So, guys, take it away. We're ready to watch.
Okay, thank you, Katie. Thank you, Dave. We hope your picks do well. Put a little money on it between the two of you. Why not, right? That's what Derby's all about. Let's take a look at the grid for heat number 1.
Rick Nolte out of Kansas, Scott Dunn. You saw him from Bordentown, New Jersey, my home state, looking good here. Number 15 is Ed Riblett from Florida. Number 17, that's the black and green car, the guys we just talked about, Jason Pedruzzi out of Wichita.
Number 50, Tim Heffley out of Claremore, Oklahoma. He drove a ways. Dwight Williams, number 66, Wichita, Kansas. He could have walked to the racetrack.
He's the guy we saw in the opener. Michael Fritz all the way down from Wisconsin. Number 10 is Rob Baker. His dad has won 2 National Demo Derby championships. He'll be one to watch here today as well. 41 is Curtis Dittmer from Lynn, Kansas. Shane Hillen in the number 70 from beautiful downtown Burr Oak, Kansas. Next up, no brothers. Aaron King, Greg King, no relations.
And following them, number 46, Paul Miller out of Kansas. James Jackson, number 58, also a Jayhawker. Bobby Lorg and Bill Woods, also from this wonderful state where it's a beautiful day. Bobby Arms and Dan Mathis, 24 and 65, respectively.
And the final 2 in this pair, Bruce Spears up from Texas. He loves demos and he loves Vegas. And my pick, number 22, this guy has won 200 demo derbies.
Unbelievable. And you know, Bob, Wichita might surprise people with the amount of culture. Especially, they are proud of the world's finest theater organ, formerly in New York, the Paramount Theater. At the keyboard is Barry Baker, who has composed a special theme for us tonight. Right, Barry? Heat is set in motion to the classical crash overture as played by Barry Baker. 20 cars, and they got to get out there and get aggressive.
There's our first in car. We talked to him just a little while ago. That's the number 50 car. And I said, how long have you been doing this, Tim? He said, I've been doing this too long. A very successful racer. Be interesting to see how he does with our crash cam on board, Steve.
Well, you got to be a little bit conservative here in the heat. You got to make contact. You got to impress 4 judges collectively to get your shot. Let's go down to Tim Wilson.
Music. I'm sitting here with a couple of music appreciation girls. This is Brandy and Heather. Their father's number 66, Dwight Williams. I have a couple of classical music questions for you ladies. First off, who wrote Tchaikovsky's 1812 Overture?
Beethoven.
Who wrote Tchaikovsky's 1812 Overture?
I'm not sure.
Who wrote All My Rowdy Friends Have Settled Down?
I'm not sure about that either.
Hey, these girls are just going to pull for 66 and forget about music.
I don't know about the first one, but I know Chopin wrote that second one.
About his dad, right?
Some of the guys having trouble with traction already, Steve, because as you said, they wet the track down, and they're having a lot of problems just getting moving.
This is where you wish you had a locked rear end or a posit traction. Sometimes you can just weld the spider gears together in the rear end to get equal power to both wheels. Look at this. And there's a candidate for $200 if I have ever seen one.
Yeah, but I hope she's going to split it with somebody. There's got to be another half to that picture. The number 58 car, Jason Jackson, trying to get a little traction there.
This is the slowest, least impact heat we have seen in all the demo derbies we've done live here in TNN. And again, that's because it's wet. As it dries out, it'll pick up. You can bet on it. Actually, this long, narrow surface, they can get up pretty good speed. Bobby Gerald?
Well, it sure is wet down here, Steve. This is by far the wettest surface or derby pit that we've seen at any of the derbies that we've been to so far. One other thing, when it does start to dry out a little bit, I think some of the guys better be concerned about this concrete K-rail right here, which borders the racetrack. You don't want to get plowed into that thing, Bob. That could hurt big time.
Bobby, you don't want to stand downwind of these guys as in your tuxes either. Paul Miller in the 46 car had a lot of problems there, and out in the middle of the track, Dan Mathias, 10 years he's been doing this. That's the 65 car. And, Steve, this one might go the duration because there's absolutely no big hitting going on yet.
Well, normally you would caution the drivers like Tim Heffley, number 50, to take it easy in the heat. You got to score some points, but don't ruin your equipment in case you make it the main. There's a little problem with that right now. I don't think anybody can get up enough speed to do a lot of damage.
Heffley in that 50 car, the one right in the center there. He's a mechanic, works for the folks at American Airlines. That is his car right there. It's a big wide body, even stripped down. This car still checks in at over 4,000 pounds.
Oh, and they love those station wagons. Look at this mess. This looks more like the swamp buggies coming up next weekend.
That's Paul Miller, 25 years old, been doing demos for about 8 years now. 77 Plymouth Fury, and he ain't going anywhere.
And also building a lot of heat in that motor. The radiator, the most vulnerable commodity on these cars. It's going away. I'll tell you, there's a lot of them just stranded out there. We got a serious little low-speed train wreck on our hands.
That's it. That's Jackson in the 58 car right there. And he's bumping with Billy Woods. That's a 73-year-old, a big-time circle racer. How about Heffley, our guy with the camera? He's still doing a pretty good job. Mathias, the 65 car out there. And Bobby Lord gets another Mopar, 70 Plymouth there, and hung up Bruce Sears. He's the guy that loves Vegas. Well, he's got some big trouble right here, Steve.
It looks like a fight for a parking place on Hollywood Boulevard on a hot Saturday night. Okay, well, the speed will pick up as the track dries out, and we'll be back with more from I-81 Speedway and the classical crash.
You better tighten up your seatbelt, hope your motor don't melt. Better get ready. Ooh, that looks like it's stung.
Motor Madness is brought to you by Quaker State Motor Oil for a clean running engine. By Milwaukee's Best. When you're looking for a different breed of beer, unleash the beast. By Polaroid. Watch, wait, and see what develops. And by Motel 6. Renovating across America. Call 1-800-4-MOTEL-6 for reservations.
Wichita in the classical crash, and we had some problems right before the break, and one of our cars that we talked to earlier, Dwight Williams, ran into some big-time problems, and he was kind of dead in the water down there. Let's go down and catch up with the story with Bobby Gerald.
That's right, Bob. They threw the red flag, and Dwight Williams is out of the car getting his helmet off right now. You all right, Dwight?
Yeah, sure, no problem, no problem.
There was a little fire there, though, right?
I don't know. It looked like a lot of water. They say fire, they wind.
How hard is the racetrack to get a hold of right now?
Terrible. It's just like being on an icy pond.
Not a whole lot of hitting going on out there right now. Some frustrated demo derby pilots. Tim Wilson, what do you got?
Hey, they sent me down here to try to find something about classical music, and I found it. I found a Richard Wagner look-alike. What is your name, sir?
Ricky.
You're kidding me.
No, serious.
Has anybody ever told you look like Richard Wagner, the German composer?
Occasionally.
Do you know, can you hum Ride to the Valkyries?
No.
Hey, if Wagner was here today, he would look a lot like this man right here. Back upstairs.
Well, he'd be a few hundred years older. In fact, under our demo derby action right now is the Ride of the Valkyries, or will be by Richard Wagner. And throughout this day, we're going to bring you some pieces, a lot of which you may not recognize the name of, but know the music. Bob, I hope the Valkyries rode a little faster than our demo Derby battlers here at heat number 1. And this could be a big advantage. If you transfer out of this heat to the main, you got no damage whatsoever.
Isn't that amazing? All I know is that back home somewhere in New Jersey, Donnie Gervais, who rented me this tux, was watching the guy in that tux going, please don't do that to mine. Don't make it a mess. Fry. Look at this. There's more mud than banging. They cannot get up any speed. We'll take a look at this again in Heffley's in-car camera. He told me earlier the key to this would be aggressive because there's a time limit on these, Steve, and you got to be aggressive. You can get up no speed right now, and we saw a couple of guys with a lot of trouble pouring water out underneath while we were listening. The crowd was humming along to that ride of the Valkyries, by the way. Did you hear that?
Oh, it's a snappy little piece. Hard to dance to.
Look at that, some flames coming out of the headers. Heffley, big-time Derby winner and runner. And we're trying to get a little bit of these guys banging and crashing. Otherwise, it's going to be down to the Demolition Determinator to determine who wins this thing.
It's really come down to a mud bat. He who can see can hit. You saw how dirty the helmet was of the guy with the fire.
It's funny, the car right to the right of the screen, the number 24 car, Bobby Arms, been doing this for about 7 years and said the key to this is hit hard. He said, but if they really wet this thing down, nobody's going to get hit hard, nor will they be able to hit hard.
Even though 24 didn't take much of a shot, that will score well anyway for the driver that hit him, because right now that's the whole point, make contact.
Heffley just took a pretty good shot right there. Some of our TNN fans on hand. The checkerboard design on a couple of the race cars out there. Heffley's probably got about as much action as anybody we're seeing. The 14 car is Scott Dunn. He's the one pouring water out, and he's gone nowhere.
Let me tell you what, they're getting so desperate to score, they're hitting with the front end, which they never would do if they had any kind of head of speed.
I saw two guys over there hitting themselves just so they could score. Here's the guy says, it looks just like a John Deere. I said, why'd you paint it like that? He said, if we can't beat him, we can at least push him out of the way. And that's what this thing may come down to.
And there's a bunch of drivers right now wishing they had mounted snow tires.
Or mud tires. Look at this. We've done quite a few of these things, Steve, and haven't seen anything like this. It really is just like a slosh out there. Little smoke on the water here for Heffley's car. That's not a good sign, but he has to be scoring enough points here, I think, to move into the main.
Smoke on the water. Bob, this is a classical thing, remember?
Oh, I'm sorry.
At this point, we're usually worried about a dusty track.
There was my pick, the 22 car right there. That was Todd Constable, who's been doing this for 20 years, and he was the guy with all the wins. He's not scoring anything.
As Yogi Berra once said, you'll know it's over when... All right, let's remember now that Katie Haas, she picked number 41, and Dave Bears picked number 18. We'll have to see how they do when our judges, who are very confused right now, try to tabulate the four that will go to the main event out of heat number 1. Unbelievable. Okay, we'll be back for hopefully swifter action here at the Classical Crash right after you watch these words here on TNN. Stay with us.
It's the Demolition Derby. He's all the wreck one car can stand. Well, it's prom season, and if your prom turned out like mine did, before the night's over, you're going to wind up in a wooded area. That's why the best place to go prom shopping is here in Wichita, Kansas at the Coleman Museum and Factory Outlet, home of the Coleman insulated flannel tux, the Coleman lanterns, coolers, everything you need on a date. 1914 original Coleman lantern. My grandmother took this lantern into the woods on her prom night. Coleman has been in Wichita, Kansas since 1900, 97 years. It's world famous to outdoorsmen and most prom queens.
Tim, I don't know how to break this to you, but my prom started in a wooded area. Unbelievable. Great crowd on hand here.
All right, look what's coming up here on Motor Madness Friday, June 27th. The Budweiser NTP8 Dairyland Super Nationals from Tomah, Wisconsin will be coming to you live for the biggest truck and tractor pull of the year, so big it's officially labeled the Super Pull. The awesome power of big rig crowd-pleasing bobtail trucks combined with the unbelievable showmanship of 6-engine unlimited tractors will blow you away. You don't want to miss it. If you can't be with us in Tomah, be sure to join us for this fun-filled weekend. Tune in Friday, June 27th, and you can call 716-648-5100 for more information. Then we're going to move on to Hamburg, New York.
August 8th, that'll be the Atlas ERS Great Lakes Car Wars. You want to check in because that's for entries under 2,600 pounds, residents of the Great Lakes area only. So you want to check in, call 704-485-8687. Some special rules for that one.
And then we're out to Reno, Nevada for the Western States Smash-a-thon. She'll be there with us, coming to you live from the Nevada State Fair in Reno on August 22nd. The biggest event west of the Rockies, and it'll be right here on TNN. All right, I'm still trying to get a winner of that first heat. Let's go down to Bob Jarrell.
Well, we'll give you a winner then, Steve. His name is Tim Heffley. He's no stranger to us here. And Tim, you guys put in 200 hours of work into this car, and it paid off here with the heat race win. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. It took 12 minutes to beat it up a little bit more, and we're coming back to the feature in another 12 minutes. We'll see what else we can do to her.
How about this racetrack? How hard was it to hit?
Well, it's pretty hard because it's pretty wet, and the guy really can't get no traction or speed, so you're really having to work the throttle and work the shifter to get any traction out of it. So we used front, back, side, whatever we could do with her, trying to make that main. I went all the way to Georgia and couldn't make it, so I had to do a better showing for my sponsors.
Good job, and let's get over to Tim Wilson, who's with second place.
I'm with runner-up number 24, Bobby Arms from Commerce, Oklahoma. They ain't got this much mud in Oklahoma, do they, Bobby?
No, I tell you what, they've had a lot of rain. We've had a lot of water out here on the track, but there's definitely some hard competition and hard hitting out here today.
Well, you know anything about classical music?
Well, a little bit, yeah.
Can you tell me who wrote Tchaikovsky's 1812 Overture?
No, I don't believe I can make that one, no.
I'm still trying to find somebody that knows this one. Back upstairs.
Could be a trick question. Rob Baker in the 10 car and Curtis Dittmer in the 41 car also will advance. And tough for Buck Spears. He came close but didn't make it. Wonder how the guys in the studio did with their picks. Let's go back and check and see if they're keeping tabs on how things are coming out here at the Classical Crash. Katie?
Oh, you bet we're keeping tabs. 4th and 5th?
Not too bad, not too bad. But it's more like swamp buggies out there than it was like Motor Madness, whatever we're doing here tonight.
Demo Derby.
Yeah, Demo Derbies. I knew that.
Classical style, by golly. And we got to give those guys a little bit of time to fix up those cars. They got to get back out there. Hopefully it'll be dried up a little better now. So we're going to come back with a little bit of... All right, but this week it's Demolition Derbies. And we're up for, I guess, Heat 2. And I have made up my pick. Here he comes, folks. And look at this. A beautiful car and a beautiful number from our buddy, Mr. Millard. He's car number 33, Dennis Millard, and he's from Topeka, Kansas, so he's going to be a local favorite anyway.
Katie, I'm going with Jamie Pribble. Because of his day job, he works for Farmland Foods. He's a hog buyer, and I've eaten more farmland ribs and bacon than I can count. So I'm going with Jamie Pribble. Go, Jamie.
You're such a health food junkie. All right, well, let's go back to our guys. Steve Burns, what do you think about this next race?
Well, I got to tell you, in heat number 1, you guys in Charlotte were 0-1. But as we roll out our next heat, I think right now I'd like to have the chain concession, Bob Fry. If you could get a little grip, you could really do well.
They're having trouble just getting them in. Hey, go. Here's our husband and wife team here, and happy birthday to Janelle in the number 7 car.
And we got Kevin Jenkins, out of Dodge City, and Chigger Cummings. How do you get a nickname like Chigger?
We'll talk about that. David Broyles, Peter Stephen running in the 38 car, and he's 37 years old. Loves this. David Blake, John Walker in the 59 car.
And Leslie Foster, number 44, out of Kansas, along with Tim Ho, number 79, Jeff Gassman and Dennis Miller, 49 and 33, Sean Wilson and Alan Wassinger, both Kansas drivers. Got a Nebraska man in, Scott Gropp, Larry Goring from Kansas.
Scott Gropp's a law student, Alan Winters and Jamie Pribble. There's the guy that they picked back in the studio, so that's like the kiss of death. Bosker and Zangy, Art and Zangy, little of everything, A and Z. We got a husband and wife team here in this thing we told you about. 2 different cars, 2 different approaches, 1 common goal. They want to win. Should make for an interesting night and a happy marriage.
Terry traveled all the way to Orlando Speed World for the Florida Free-for-All, where he got pummeled from all sides. He piloted his black 00 wagon to a win in the second heat, but didn't do as well in the final. To avoid a repeat of that experience, Terry and Janelle drove down from their home in Salina, Kansas to check out the 81 Speedway. They're a loving couple who enjoy demolition derbies because they both get to drive.
It's fun. I mean, some people build gardens together. We drive demo cars together.
We get a lot of friends over and
that's
build them.
What we do for our hobby. It's fun.
It's our hobby.
There's some things we disagree about. I mean, like the way we drive. You know, I'm all out, and he takes his time. He takes the more calculated shots, and I just take whatever I can get.
Janelle, this is a big race, and you need to take your shots and put out the tires to put them out.
Yeah, but if I hit them in the front end, I can take out their front end and their radiator. But whatever you say, dear.
Janelle, we go out there side by side, protect each other, take them out.
If we go separate, we could take more of them out. Whatever you say, dear. This time, don't paint my car pink and don't put hit me on the driver's door.
But, baby, we're just having fun.
You know, you need to hit more than you did in Florida.
Yeah, but you need to look around and see what you're hitting. But whatever you say, dear.
For Terry and Janelle, their family is the most important thing, and Demolition Derby is something that brings them together, one way or another.
He's hit me. I don't think I've hit him, but his time's coming.
Janelle, when we get out there, I promise I won't hit you.
Oh, baby, I promise I won't hit you either. Whatever you say, dear.
Oh, I told you it's going to make for a happy marriage. And happy birthday, too, by the way, to Janelle. Bobby Gerald?
Well, the moment of truth has come for Ken Jenkins, the chassis man. And okay, chassis man, it's a mushy track out here. What do you do to hook your car up?
Well, Jimmy Jones has been working on it all night, and I think he let the air down the rear tires. Other than that, well, I guess we're good to go.
All right. Jimmy Jones, by the way, spent 5 years working with Carl and Mark Kinzer, so he knows a thing or two. And he installed this light on the top of Ken Jenkins' car to let the crew know when he's full throttle. Tim?
Hey, I'm with Jason Chigger Cummings from, of all places, Sedan, Kansas. A name like Chigger. Where in the world did you get a name like Chigger?
Well, all my friends at home call me Chigger because my dad's name's Skeeter, and the Chiggers used to eat me up quite a bit when I was a kid, so I guess that's how I got it. Kind of stuck with me ever since then.
Well, I'm starting to itch already. This car makes me want to go home and soak my ankles in kerosene.
It's kind of an annoying car. Makes it look annoying. Mom painted it to look like a Chigger.
Well, good luck out there, Jason. We'll be looking for you.
All right.
Have a good one.
With a coating of nail polish, that's the only way you get rid of a chigger once it gets under your skin. You cut off its oxygen with nail polish. How do I know that? I don't know. I just read it somewhere. Stay with us. We'll be right back with heat number 2 from the classical crash.
The meanest man driving, and there ain't no lie. He's legally blind in his good eye. He can't see much, but he can smell the kill. So you better not get caught standing still.
Motor Madness is brought to you by Duralube, tomorrow's technology today, and by Wagner, the power to do it.
The Wichita River Festival actually began today and runs through May 18th, with activities ranging from 200-mile-an-hour drag boat races to the crowd's favorite for years and years, the annual bed races. They don't go 200, but they take it seriously, and they try as hard as they can. Watch the lady in red on your left. Ouch. But you got right back up in the next heat.
I wonder if Terry and Janelle have ever thought about the bed races, or should we not go there?
Don't go there, Bob. All right, they're getting ready for heat number 2. And earlier, we had to have a drawing, which we're going to show you, because one of the 4 heats is going to get a very special prize. And here was the drawing, Dutch Holland, 1 through 4. Number 2 was picked, and that means the winner of heat number 2 coming up will get the Wagner Job Well Done Award, which is a wonderful Wagner power roller, and that can come in very handy when painting Demolition Derby cars. I don't recommend it for Porsches or Maseratis. And there is our starter, Jimmy Cross. He's got them lit up, and I'll tell you, I hope it's a little more traction this time, Bobby.
The guys at Wagner right now are holding their chest saying, painting demo derby cars with our power rollers? Wow.
Why not?
Bicycle crash. Look out as we get him underway here. We got a driver I want to watch out for in the number 54 car somewhere, because he's got very bad hands. Hurt his hand working on the car this week, and we'll see how he does. Jamie Pribble, that was the number 9 car that they picked back in the studio. That was Dave's pick. And we're on board with Ken Jenkins. He said, hey, I've built a lot of great sprint cars. He said, but these boys out here are serious about this stuff.
And Ken said his crew chief recommended letting most of the air out of the tires. Let's see how it works. Oh, they're getting a lot more speed now.
That's Terry right there. Terry Siraki, the number 6 car, coming right at the camera and banging in a little bit to John Walker. John is a fire chief with that 59 car right there. And he's done a pretty good job with that, getting that thing all set up. 31 years old, Alan Winters, who's been doing this for a long while. Very successful racer here with the 54 car. That thing weighs 4,200 pounds, Steve.
Yeah, and we just saw a good shot there by the 34 car. That's the kind of action it's going to take if you're going to be one of the top 4 cars out of this heat.
There's Chigger in the red car. Oh, that's one of the best hits we've seen so far. Alan Wassinger, number 77. He's a forklift operator, and he just drilled that baby.
And that was our man Ken Jenkins, number 8, right in the middle. He was the filling in that demo sandwich.
and his light went on, meaning he was at full throttle. I think that means he was trying to get out of the way here. Scott Groff, number 28 there to the left of the camera there, a law student at the University of Nebraska. We'll find out if the cerebral approach works here as we're on board again.
Trying to use that rear end as the battering ram. That's
for sure. A lot of great running here at the classical crash out here in Wichita. 37, that's Arden Zangi in the Buick wagon. Time for a little more classical music.
Yes, it is. And our next selection will be the Blue-Net Danube Waltz, composer Johann Strauss Jr.
Looks like a slow waltz out there, Steve.
Yep, Ken Jenkins doesn't need that light much, does he?
Bobby Gerald trying to stay upright, so is our cameraman there, Jeff Kelly. I believe we red flagged him out there again. Let's go down and find out what the story is with Bob Gerald.
Well, there were flames puking out of Ken Jenkins' car, and Ken has bailed out. And Ken, I think maybe you were too worried about keeping that yellow light up there for your crew chief, and now your car's come to a stop from working the motor too hard, I think.
Yeah, we just got a bad motor, I guess. We'll just have to buy another one and get with the owner and change motor builder.
Race driver excuses. Oh, he's got this down, guys. He's got it down.
Somewhere all over this country, there are sprint car drivers falling off the couch with laughter. Ken Jenkins threw down the gauntlet and then just had to kick it over the fence. Stay with us. We'll be right back for the continuation of Heat 2.
Demolition Man.
When people hear the Hendrick Motorsports team switched to Quaker State last year,
Number 6, that's Terry Siraki. We saw him in the beginning there doing well, and see the 54 car he hit. That's the kid with the bum hand, Alan Winters, young kid with a 440 Chrysler. The 7 car there is Janelle Siraki. So we've had a good hit here by both Terry and Janelle here in this heat.
And apparently that conversation we eavesdropped on in the piece. Terry and Janelle are doing exactly what they talked about. Terry's hitting more than he did Florida. Janelle's looking around looking for prime suspects.
Jamie Pribble, number 9. Just to the right there. And there's Terry Siraki. He's got to be mounting up enough points here to be able to move in. That's Chigger Cummings there. He just was dead in the water. We'll take a look from the in-car camera. And there's the guy we saw earlier, dead in the water. The car can just sit there and do nothing. 77's doing real well right there. Let's go down and check and see how Timmy's doing with his quizzes in the grandstand area. Tim?
They told me to come down and find people who look like classical composers, but so far all I found was ZZ Top. Tell me your name, sir.
Hank Peterson.
Hank Peterson. Are you going for the overall well-dressed look here, Hank?
Well, certainly.
What happened to the classical tux thing?
Well, I don't know. Overalls are just more comfortable.
Do you know, can you tell me who wrote Tchaikovsky's William Tell Overture?
Probably Tchaikovsky.
Holy smoke, we have a winner, ladies and gentlemen. A man who knows the answer. Can you hum it to me, sir?
No.
Do you know the theme to the Lone Ranger?
No.
He's been living in a cave for 2,000 years.
Wait a minute, wasn't that a routine? I think I've seen that done before, but he did want to thank Donnie's House of Overalls. That's where he got the outfit.
Well, let me tell you something. I got to correct you. I hate to do this, Tim. You're my pal. But the William Tell Overture was not written by who you said it was written by an Italian composer named Rossini.
Oh, picky.
Well, let's listen to it. I can prove this. And if you don't recognize this music, folks, well, you just never did watch television, black and white or color. And the great horse, Silver.
Jay Silverheels. I love that. It's a great show. That's the song that always makes me think of Bo Derek. Oh, baby, there's Janelle, number 7, with a great hit as she took off from one side and slammed him.
Any song makes you think of Bo Derek.
I just thought I'd throw that in. Leslie Foster in the 44 car stood well. Janelle right there on the right says happy birthday on the side there, and on the back, hello, darling. That was a country song, wasn't it?
I think Terry and Janelle both have a shot, and here's Janelle at going to the final. Whoa, she blew a radiator.
Oh, man. Couple of Derby wins here for Janelle, celebrating her birthday today. What do you think she would like for birthday? How about a match in the finals with her hubby right there?
You betcha. That'd be divorce court. Mechanized divorce court.
Jamie Pribble still doing a good job. Way to go, Dave, back in the studio. He picked number 9 there. That's Jamie Pribble.
Even though you blow a radiator with these cars, many of them you can still stay alive. They run a lot of high-tech lubricants to keep engine temperature down. Bobby Gerald.
We see sprint car driver Aaron Berryhill on Motor Madness, usually driving the 97. Tonight you were here to root on Ken Jenkins, but it didn't last long, did it?
I've never seen so much destruction in my life. But I'll tell you one thing, I was watching that little light he's got on top to make sure he has the throttle down all the time. He did, you know, I guess he caught fire or something. This is nuts, nuts.
Aaron Berryhill's enjoyed himself, guys.
And he calls this nuts. We'll have live sprint car action later this year from Eldora, the Knoxville National. You'll see what nuts really is all about. Nuts is 140 miles an hour on your head.
It's like a demo derby that's not supposed to be a demo derby. We have a couple of cars running. I agree with you, Steve. Terry and Janelle Siraki both doing a great job. 28, that's our law student right there, and he's still in. And the kid with the bad hand, too, also having a pretty good run here so far, Alan Winters.
You're supposed to be a personal injury lawyer?
He was handing out business cards down there in the pit area. How about Alan Wassinger in the number 77 car? He has never won one of these. He's had a couple of segments, but has never won. There's the kid with the bad hand. You can see it. His left hand not even on the steering wheel, Steve, right there in the 54 car.
That's Alan Winters of Mound Valley, Kansas. I wonder if the other competitors aren't starting to be aware of the points scored by Terry and Janelle and are out trying to make up for lost ground.
Very interesting. Good hit there, Alan. Number 77. He's a forklift operator, and you know what this means.
It's over. Brunhilde von Valkyrie. You bet she can sing, baby cakes. A little later on for that.
Speaking of proms.
Well, we're going to be back. Check your scorecards. Do you think Terry and Janelle should both go to the main event? Let's see what our judges have to say in just a bit.
What are the odds of getting a...
This is the Wichita Wurlitzer, and this is world-famous organist and organ donor Barry Baker. He has played for the crowned heads of Europe. He has played the greatest classical music ever known to man. But today he is about to perform his greatest moment. Mondo Jones, accident prone, born in a Buick that was hit head on. He's a demolition derby man. He's all the rest one car can stand. Go, play some Billy Preston.
Billy Preston.
The wrong Billy Preston. All right, our winners have been determined. Number 77 and 7. We know our first and second. We're still waiting for third and fourth.
That's a great job. Let's go down now to Bobby Gerald.
Alan Wassinger, the driver of number 77, is the man who will take home first place in the second heat. And with that, he gets the Wagner Job Well Done Award. The Wagner 949 Power Roller is yours, man. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you. I'd like to thank Nest City and all the people at Sand Hill Mag and Head Repair and TJ's Alignment.
What are you going to do with the Power Roller? Can you paint your derby car with it?
I guess I'll paint me another car.
We'll see you in the main event.
I hope so.
Tim Wilson, he has second place.
Well, Tim Wilson's out here searching for second place. I feel like I'm out. Hey, I feel like I'm plowing the bottom 40 out here.
Boy, look at that, our winner there.
I'm not sure it's sunk in just yet that he won. He said, well, I hope so. I'll see you in the main event. I hope so. But we know for sure that he's going to win, and so is Janelle Siraki. Let's hope Terry does it. There could be friction in that household.
Arden Zangum in the 37 car also did very well. The number 9 car, Jamie Pribble. He did real well. Congratulations, Dave. Back in the studio, your boy makes it into the finals.
Hey, thanks, Bob. You know, sometimes you know how to pick them, and sometimes you don't, and sometimes you just get real lucky. Real lucky.
I think that's what you...
It's unbelievable, and also you're going to have more of what you've seen tonight. More and more crashing and banging, but you know, in order to get these things back between the heats and the feature, they got to do a whole lot of work. We'll come back to you right here in Charlotte. We're watching Motor Madness on TNN.
Here in Charlotte, Motor Madness. We are live. The demo derbies in Kansas, Wichita, Kansas. We had to get them set up and get them all prepared because they have been beat and banged up, and you probably wondered how any of those cars in the demo derby, they do okay in the first place, in the first heat, but then how do they get stitched back up to get back out for the final heat?
Yeah, I mean, it's not the only race they run. They've got the same cars. They cannot switch to different ones, and there's a time limit in between the time they leave the heat and get back on it. So those crews have to use a little brawn and a whole lot of ingenuity.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
The fun of a demo derby ends, some get to go home, but others are rewarded with a task of sorting out the tangled messes that once resembled their cars. There's not much time between heats, which forces the crews to use a little ingenuity. The best action of the night is most often found in the pits.
Sorry, grandkids, Grandpa broke the car. But we're going to try to fix the car.
We're getting ready to go back in.
Steve! Have we got any more threaded rods?
Yeah. Huh? I think you should cut the floorboard out so I can get the thing. If I can jump it back in reverse, I think I can pull the motor pretty close to place.
We're back in if we get it right.
Sheet metal cutting time. I got more problems with that. I got a bad ignition and I'm ready for the finals.
Where's the fuel at?
And if you can get your car running again, it's right back to bumping and grinding. The last one running is the champ, and that is what demo derbies are all about.
I mean, you got the wrecker operator out there, you've got the welder out there. They use just about every tool they've got in their boxes out there. I don't know how they get it done.
They can't find half the stuff they need to work on in the first place. You only got to dig it out. But we'll be watching all of that and see how they get back out there with more action from the demo derby from Wichita. Stay with us. You know, demo derbies are fun. They are fun. We're going to check out... all right, we're going to get back to it here in just a few. I'm going to pick Troy Swanger. Number 78 is from Preston, Kansas. He's got a nice-looking car, and that's about all I know about him, except his name is hard to say. Troy Swanger. Troy Swanger. You're my pick.
5 times fast, don't even try it. I'm going to go with the number 25 car, and that's going to be Walter Reidinger.
Why are you going with him?
Well, they say, he's earned over $10,000 in 16 years of running demo derbies. Now,
wow,
that may be the business to be in. So
that's
my pick,
a lot of tires.
Walter Reidinger.
All right, well, we'll look forward to that. Now, Tim Wilson's out there, and he is supposed to be having some kind of fashion show in store for us. Tim, I don't know what you've got out there. Will you please explain?
Hey, I'm the last guy in America who should be putting on a fashion show. But, honey, don't worry, I'm not getting married again. This is the best dressed person in America today, I guess. I don't know. Angela Gray. Angela, how did you put this ensemble together?
Very slowly.
You didn't have to go out and, like, buy this dress just for this Demolition Derby, did you?
No, I got married last year about a week from now.
See, and they always told you you'd never wear the dress again.
Right, and I'm hoping to win a little bit of the money back.
Well, the good news is it was a white dress. That's the good news. These blue blockers, I don't really know what that has to do with wedding dresses. But...
You cover your eyes and you'll never know.
Well, this may be my winner, but I think I can find something better, but I don't know how. Back up to you, Steve.
Okay, Tim, and back in Charlotte, congratulations, Dave. You actually got one going into the main event. One of your picks, Jamie Pribble, came out of heat number 2.
You know, demo derbies have been around for a long while, and we got a driver coming in with a long family tradition. He can get a lot of advice from his dad.
I'm the 3rd generation of my family to run Demolition Derby. I mean, my grandpa, all my uncles, my mom, lots of my great uncles, my cousins, just pretty much everybody in my family's ran in them since I was about 2. Well, I guess it's my turn to do it.
Justin's grandma, his mother Rose, who started racing when she was 14, the patriarch of the family, Grandpa Cleo, and his Uncle Glenn, who also raced Demolition Derby, all pitch in to help Justin prepare his race car. They're also ready to donate 3 generations of wisdom to the latest of their racing clan.
Don't let him roll on top of you, Justin. Just make sure you keep hitting from the behind and not in the front.
Don't give up. You can do it.
Yeah, and like when you come out in your first heat, we'll get in there at that pit so we can get it ready for the main feature and everything.
Get in there, Justin, and do it. Do it like you do all the rest of the sports.
Make sure you protect your radiator, Justin. Make sure you hit him hard, but don't hit him with your front.
Keep your hands tight on the wheel. Make sure you're watching out what you're doing. Make sure they don't hit you from the front end.
You got to be tough and rough, because if you don't, after the race, I'm going to hurt you.
Kill him. Just get him out any way you can.
The most important advice I can give you is listen to your
For training, Justin's ready to carry on the family tradition.
I guess I was kind of lucky. Everybody who's ran before me, they give me a lot of advice, you know, tell me what to do, what not to do, how to win, you know. They're going to want half the money, though, since they said all this stuff, but they probably won't get it anyway.
There's so many people. There'd be about like $1.50 per person for that family. Let's get down to Bobby Gerald.
Well, guys, and in Georgia, I was talking to you about this cool Duraloop jacket and how much I wanted to take that thing home. And, you know, it's still a cool jacket and all, but guess what I found out? Not only does the winner get a jacket, he gets $1,000 from Duraloop. Forget the jacket, man. I want the money. You think so?
You imagine if you tried to forge a check on the winning Demo Derby driver, you imagine your fate?
Let's get down to Timmy.
Hey, I'm sitting here with Pete Beaumont from Concordia, Kansas, in the sky blue station wagon. Pete, you have this thing decked out in cartoon characters. What's the thinking here?
Well, I thought maybe we'd get the crowd in behind us, little children, and I'd like to have a little support from all the fans up above. That's why the reason why the number of cartoons is on the car is, well, I drew number 29. I thought, well, we'd just go along with the Cartoon Network car, NASCAR.
Well, that's a good idea. Local boy, let's hope he does good. Have a good one, Pete.
Thank you.
Back upstairs.
I have never seen Tim Wilson speechless, but he had absolutely no idea what that meant.
Be the Steve Grissom car there, the Cartoon Network. This might look like a cartoon, but it's the real deal. It's the classical Crash, and we're coming back live on TNN.
Boys gonna snipe you, they're gonna sideswipe you. Better call Prudential, they're peeling you off the wall. You're gonna need a differential and a Tylenol.
Member of the Newport, Rhode Island, or San Diego Yacht Club. The Arkansas River will do just fine, because in the beautiful Wichita Boathouse, you'll find the Yacht Jayhawk, one of the 1992 America's Cup challengers. And a strong challenge it was.
What a magnificent shot. And the paint job on this, I believe, we all hum along now. Come on, 5, 6, 7, 8. Stravinsky's Firebird Suite there. And this is the same car, from a complete painting of a ballet to no hunting on the side. And the guy that drives that car is 66 years old.
All right, in the next heat, Justin Moeller with the family support we saw. And number 52, Rick Weatherwax, has been disqualified for a welded-up front bumper. Can't do that.
Number 29 says the key to this is survival. Missouri Valley, Iowa. The Kansas Racers 35. That's Kevin Dodge. John Rudolph, number 42 car. He's a little nervous. He's done this for a while. 61, Chad Hartman, another Kansas runner.
Leonard Bacon, a very contemporary look out of Wichita. Bruce Palmesto from Colby, Kansas.
Number 55 is Aubrey Simmons right there, and they call him Mr. Simmons. Been doing this for 20 years. Scott Jones, 36 is the number car.
Troy Wonger from Preston, Kansas. Todd Purcell from Viola, Kansas. Every age, every occupation.
Steve Dittmer, and he owns a machine shop, 72. That's John Gormley Jr. with a 78 Chrysler LeBaron. Walter Reidinger, 68 is Randy Mills from Clearwater, Kansas, just down the road. Courtney Bartley is number 71, and he has never won in 10 years of doing this, and Mr. Immel rounds out the field.
And there is Jimmy Cross with the start for heat number 3. Katie's pick back in Charlotte, number 78, Troy Swanger. Dave's pick was Walter Rittinger, number 25. Let's see how they do.
A lot of good hitting right out of the box here. The number 69 car, that's Michael Limmel. He was the last guy off the grid right there. And 67, Leonard Bacon. Bacon. Picture perfect. At least he hopes so. Look at that. Looks like the bar scene from Star Wars up there.
It really does. The in-car 78, Troy Swanger.
Troy's out of Preston, Kansas, number 78, 25 trophies. He has done this for a while. Very good, and he's got a very well-designed race car. That's him right there, number 78. He said, don't trick yourself out. Make sure you design your car well. That's the key. We're on board right there with 78.
Most of the guys like Troy, they have modified the shift linkage where it's very easy to go directly from reverse back to low gear. That's all you need. And the secret, especially in this sloppy track, is going to be keep those rear tires spinning.
Number 1, that was Jason Moeller that we saw at the top of this segment, and he's kind of dead in the water already. Bartley with the 71 car. Courtney Bartley looking for this first win. The 55 car there. Aubrey Simmons with his wagon. He calls this car the Little Dummy. I don't write him, I just read him, folks.
How would you like to be Justin if he's already done in this deal and have to face that mob at home, huh?
Said if you don't win, don't come home. Trying to back in, Scott Jones, the 36 car, the number 74 car there, Todd Purcell. Let's go down and see what Tim's up to down there at the grandstand.
Everybody I find in this town who reminds me of a classical composer is wearing overalls. I don't know what it is. I found my Johann Strauss impersonator. This is Lynn Meredith. Lynn, why do all you guys who look like you have musical talent wind up in the overall ensemble?
It's just something we do. No reason for it. They're very comfortable.
Well, you haven't been over to the Coleman company to get some of these shirts, have you?
Not yet.
Well, this looks like one I saw over at the Coleman thing. You need to check out that tux they have over there. They have an insulated tux that'll go great with the beard.
May have to go there and get one when it's over.
I'll tell you what. I'm going to put together a classical composer impressionist group, and we're going to take this on the road. Back upstairs.
Well, so far you have a great ZZ Top impressionist group. You got 2 out of 3.
There is Katie's car. That's the number 78. Troy Swanger right there. And all those classical folks down there, let's all hum along. You all know this one, so sing along at home.
And this is perfect action for the Carmen Suite. Composer Bizet.
Everybody sing along. You at home. Oh, come on. You let us down. You know what? That song makes me think of Bo Derek.
I'm not going to say it again, Bob.
Our Big A Auto Parts there. Katie's pick doing real well. We're on board camera right here. Troy Swanger, the 78 car. And those guys just hit right in time with the music. You love it when it comes together like that. Jet Fromholtz, number 73, one of the Plymouth. That's a 440 Chrysler engine in that baby, Steve.
And the station wagons so far have been surviving better than anything else. And mounted up on the end barriers, number 72.
John Gormley with a Chrysler LeBaron. He's a farmer by profession, a cow and wheat farmer. You milk one, you plant the other, but I get them confused all the time, Steve.
Well, I don't know how. He needs somebody to knock him off of there. That's the only way. He's sitting there right now rather pensive saying, oh, this is pretty embarrassing. Okay, as he tries to figure out how to get himself off of the wall, we'll try to figure out how to get you to commercial, and we'll be right back with the continuation of heat number 3.
The Demolition Derby man. He's all the wreck one car can stand. And every woman here is a Bondo fan.
one-car camera in that 78 car and Katie's pick. Somewhere back there, David's yelling, hit that 78 car, hit that 78 car. 29 there, Pete Beaumont says you got to be a survivor in this. The 47 car, Bruce Plemisto, with a 383 Chrysler there, and the Mopar is doing pretty well in this heat.
Yeah, Pete Beaumont, the 29 car, he kind of held back, kind of like a fox. He'd go over the corner and hide, he'd move over another corner, and now he's out there trying to get himself in the main event.
See that? The 78 car got caught in the water there, spinning the tires, and he took a couple of big bumps, but he's still going. Oh, man, what a whack from the double nickel car there. The little dummy, 55, a good slam on the number 1 car, and that's Justin Moeller sitting right there. He's in big trouble. I don't know who's in bigger trouble, Steve. The 55 car certainly doesn't look like he's going to be around. The number 1 car on the left there, he's really been kind of bumped around since the very get-go in this thing. He calls his car the Green Weenie, but right now, not doing much.
Well, he's getting a free steam cleaning from Aubrey Simmons in the 55 car. There can't be much coolant left in that radiator.
You know what, Steve? We haven't heard any really good classical music. I wish we could have a little bit of that Soupé song. You can't get enough of Soupé.
You mean the Light Cavalry?
That would be the one. There in the Zebra car, and what a great job. And Katie's car is still going well, and the 29 car, there's a guy with about 30 wins to his career, and he has won everything in his hometown. This is going to be very interesting. Bobby Gerald, what's it look like from your muddy vantage point?
Well, I'll tell you what it looks like, guys, is that the racetrack is starting to come to the Derby drivers now. The track conditions are still sloppy, but not nearly as sloppy as we saw in the first heat race. And a good way to gauge it is by the fans who are standing down here close to the action in the pits. If they have to keep moving their heads and dodging, and we haven't seen a whole lot of that in the last race, that means the track's getting a little better, they're getting more traction, not spinning their wheels and kicking up as much mud over here for the race fans.
Oh, our onboard camera just got whacked. We haven't been able to get the 72 car. John Gormley off the hill right there. We had a shot a moment ago of the number 42 car who's out there. Steve, here's an ex-combat Marine who said that he's nervous out here. And our 78 car, Katie's car, in trouble right about now. Scott Jones, the 36 car, making some good hits. And so is the 25 car right there, Walter Reidinger. And that was Dave's pick. Dave could go 2 for 2 on board. That 78 car right there. And, oh, he's really taking a whacking right now.
Well, the clock is ticking down. There's not much time left to make an impression on our panel of judges. Dutch Hall and the Derby Determinator marking them down right now. That 36 car has been very flamboyant out there, but not making that kind of contact.
A car salesman by profession. And the number 36 car, Scott Jones, I got a feeling he may be able to stick around. He sells Mopar for a living, a Chrysler-powered machine, and he says Mopar is better. But you read it.
Well, he's got a problem with his throttle linkage or his tranny linkage. One is the other. We can see him right down there trying to... We talked about him earlier. He's made the necessary modification. But when that engine gets knocked sideways in the chassis, it does all kinds of things.
Troy is just sitting there right now. Back in Charlotte, Katie's going, that's my boy. And Dave's saying, yeah, that's your boy. I got the 25 car. Look at that. Right there. Oh, that's not good.
Motor might be running just a little bit rich there, Bob, and he was a sitting duck.
For the demo team there. Great shot on the back of that. I think that was a picture of some of the folks that Tim caught up with at the grandstand.
That fire extinguisher was making him in handy before this is over.
Oh, Bobby Gerald had the right comment. The track is really coming to the demo Derby guys right now. That 42 car you just saw there, that's the ex-Marine, or the former Marine. There are no ex-Marines. The former Marine. And they're really starting to belt each other around. Jet Fromholt's there with the 73 car. Right there, brand new engine in that car for today. And I like the 29 car, what I'm seeing out of Pete Beaumont.
And I tell you, I'm starting to like the 42 car as well of John Rudolph. The Lucas, Kansas.
Yeah, the former Marine, and look at that. He's doing a great job. He said he used to go out and look for mines out in battlefields. Marvin the Martian was his favorite TV character, and he said, I'm nervous. I can't believe it.
Well, you saw Aaron Berryhill, sprint car driver. He said this stuff is insanity.
A lot of activity right here. The 73 car still doing a pretty good job. Jet Fromholt, the 76 Chrysler, the Zebra car.
Got a
a couple of folks on hand with him to work with this car after the heat.
And remember, you're going to take this same car to the main event if you're lucky enough to be in the top 4. And right now, you got to be thinking, am I high enough to start maybe conserving some sheet metal?
The 29 car is doing just a great job right now. The 25, Walter Reidinger, the Mad Okie. He's the guy that's won over $10,000. The Zebra car from St. Francis doing a great job right now, staying alive. We'll take a look at that 25 car, Reidinger right there. Two of the guys, I think, Steve, that have to advance, the 25 and the number 3 car, the Okie, right there.
And I'll tell you, 73 is going to need a serious front-end alignment. Number 25 is going to need a right rear tire. And ladies and gentlemen, waving the checkered flag once again is Brunhilde von Valkyrie, noted opera groupie.
Makes me think of Bo Derek. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Hey, we'll be back and find out the results of this heat when we come back. Oh, man, the onboard camera. That hurt.
TNN Motorsports came to me and they said, Tim, Bob Gerald and you down in the pits pretty much carry the show, unlike those sissies up in the announcing booth. What can we do to make sure you fellas are happy? Bob and I thought about it. We decided we wanted a 1966 M23 Learjet, the prototype for the business jet. They said, where can we get one? We said, Wichita, Kansas, the air capital of the world, at the Kansas Aviation Museum. They've got a B-52 I wouldn't mind looking at. The problem's going to be getting Evans and Fry to pick us up at the airport because, well, they don't like to carry the real talent's baggage.
Well, Tim, I would suggest you opt for the B-52, the only thing big enough to carry your ego around. And make sure it doesn't have a stick shift, because we found out yesterday Bobby Gerald can't even drive a standard transmission. Now, as the sun goes down, the fans will be bathed in beautiful new Musco lighting, just installed about a week ago here at 81 Speedway Musco. We make it happen. And they make it happen for us here at TNN, because with television, you can't have enough lights. So they've even brought in a mobile unit as well to augment. And wait till the racers get under these lights this season. They're going to think the sun's out all night.
Oh, man. Let's go down and join the winner with Bobby Gerald. Bobby?
No retort. No retort. I'm just going to bite my tongue here. Here is the winner of our last race, number 30, Mr. Fichter. F-I-H-T-E-R, but pronounced Fichter.
Fichter, F-I-C-H-T-E-R.
We looked at the damage to your car. There's quite a bit of damage there to the rear end of the machine. And you only have one more heat race before the final. Is that enough time to get this thing fixed up for the main event?
Probably just whack the frame off and run it that way. Just run with what we got. We don't have time to do a lot of fancy stuff to it.
Well, congratulations on the win, and let's get over to Tim, who's standing by with our second place finisher.
My runner-up is number 73, Jet from Holtz. We're in Wichita, Kansas. I guess everybody's named after planes.
That's right.
Starting to dry out a little bit out there. How'd it feel?
Oh, it feels great. The only way this track could be any better is if it was bigger. Then we could really get out there and crash and smash them.
Well, you crashed and smashed some folks on that run. How come everybody I'm talking to today's got on overalls? Look at this.
That's my deal. I'm starting in St. Francis. All my family wears overalls. My family's friends are wearing overalls. We're all going for overalls now.
Well, man, you're supposed to be wearing a tux. Back upstairs.
What a great job. Number 29 also finished in the top 4 right here. That'll be Pete Pomont. And number 25, that was Dave's pick, Walter Reidinger. So if you're keeping score at home, last 2, Dave has picked them up both. And Katie, well, it's kind of no score.
And I understand they're finally getting the jackets and Katie's tiara.
70.
Please.
That's right. Center car.
All right, well, for that demo derby action, that really pretty stuff from Wichita, Kansas. Stay with us at Motor Madness. I'm picking a guy who is really incredible. He used to drive all the time. He quit it, and then his kids asked him to go back into it since they watched it on TNN. The demo derbies, driver 60, Gary Coyne, and plus he's coaches Little League Baseball, which is kind of cool, too. Go, Gary.
Well,
you're my pick.
Katie, I really hope you do so well after you've really not done
I know,
well
I've kind of bombed
so
all night.
I'm going to go with the guy who tore him up in Orlando. It's number 64, folks. Keep your eye on David Segrist, all right?
Why?
Because. Just because. He did so well in Orlando.
All right, well, we'll check. You can't go wrong. Well, let's go back to the site and see what they've got going on in Wichita.
Well, I tell you, you guys are getting some inside information, I think. Those are 2 excellent picks, Gary Coyne and David Segrist. Right now, let's go down to Bobby Gerald, who is with, well, a little extra pressure for him here, Bobby, because in Charlotte, Dave Burns is picking your guy to win.
That's right. Dave Segrist is definitely one to watch. He has a trick motor underneath the hood of this car here, and he knows how to win because he won a heat race back in Orlando. So what does it take to win a heat race here, David?
Lots of hard work and fast driving.
Hard work and fast driving. Tell me about your trick motor.
It's a 383 stroker, 350 block with a 400 crankshaft in it.
If he can get some traction, guys, he's definitely going to be one to watch. Tim?
I'm over here with Pat Catfish McCoy. Where'd you get a name like Catfish?
Oh, I just do a lot of fishing, and from where I'm from, there's two rivers that come together, and there's just a lot of fish and a lot of fun to be had.
Man, it says you started driving when you were 6 years old?
First car I drove, it wasn't competitively, but it was a micro midget. That was.
How old were you when you got your first ticket?
And I think Mom and Dad were up here, and I stole their Volkswagen, and I was about 8.
Well, he's got Richard Petty's number 43. You got some good traction out here. Let's make the king proud.
Well, I've been a Richard Petty fan for as long as I can remember, and I just got lucky and drew his number, so this is for the king.
Let's go back upstairs.
I tell you, he broke my ticket record by 4 years. I got my first one at 12.
You know, most folks think demo derbies are just a fun pastime, but some guys get behind the wheel and it's a transformation.
Mike Perky is an accounting manager at a large international conglomerate based in Wichita, Kansas. But make no mistake, Mike is no ordinary accounting manager.
Most people think accountants are dull, but I guess some of them are. I mean, you see some of the typical what people think of as an accountants that prepare numbers all day. If that was all we did, that would be very dull. It's not every day just crunching numbers. Most people think of me as a very intense person, and I don't think that's all bad. What I try to do at work is I come to work, focus on what I'm trying to get done and the results that it brings, and try to intensely make that happen.
See the initial investment.
Mike's intense dedication to be a winner in both business and Demolition Derby affects everything he does.
Factoring the overhead, that's a good. We got the assets and depreciation right there.
Bottom line is, when I win this Demolition Derby, I'm going to have a return on my investment of 3,000%.
Occasionally, the line between Mike's two alter egos gets blurred.
Some key qualities of a Demolition Derby can be applied to business as well. You know, when you're especially participating, you have to be intense. You have to pay attention to what's going on around you. That is very, very important in a Demolition Derby, is knowing your surroundings and what's going on around you. Same thing applies in business, is knowing the big picture and how what you do interacts with everything else.
Mike Perky, bringing together the worlds of business and Demolition Derby with truth, justice, and the American way.
I can't believe the guy's name is Perky, and you guys got him jumping all around there and stuff like this. That is a transformation.
I tried to do the old radio booth announcer thing. I don't know if I pulled it off or not, though, but it's a great piece. And guess what? On the top of the leaderboard for heat number 4, our final lead is Mike Perky.
Candy Story, one of 2 females running in this heat. Catfish McCoy, there he is wearing 43 and number 45. That's Todd Lisner with a Chrysler. Jerry Miller, Judd Williamson in from Indiana and California. That's a long haul. There's our other female, Cindy Meredith out of Missouri. Chad Markley runs from Abilene.
Guy Miller out of Baldwin, Kansas, number 56. He'll line up alongside a tough-looking guy right there, number 12. Woo!
Terry Moyer loves these demo derbies. Number 39, Moyer, calls himself the Big D. Andy Hansen from Clearwater, Minnesota. Down from Eaton, Ohio, Steve Dillon in the 32 car.
And we have a full 20 cars as you look at the rest of the grid that will be out there for however amount of time our official Dutch Holland seems they ought to be out there. And these guys did not get a good draw. You don't want to be hitting number 4 because you left time to get ready for the main if you make it that far. We've made it this far, and we're going to the full pull when we come back to 81 Speedway. When in Wichita, stay at the Holiday Inn East, where comfort and service meet. And Bob Fry and I hereby challenge Tim Wilson and Bob Gerald to a midnight water polo match. We'll see who carries whose baggage.
Last time I tried to play water polo, I kept falling off the horse.
Bob, it doesn't matter, okay? Wilson can't swim a stroke, and Gerald isn't coordinated enough to drive a stick shift, so he won't be a problem either.
Now, talk about water polo. We got a guy in here. We'll find the number 20 car for you right there in the center of the screen. Number 20, there's a guy that has been involved with ice demolition derby and ice hockey, pushing Mazdas around on ice with cars like this.
Well, it's Andy Hansen. He's out of Minnesota. Of course he's an ice racer.
Ryan Benner, we're in the car with Candy Story. Couple of years she's been doing this. 26 years old. Mom and Dad used to drive. This is another second-generation race. That's the number 4 car right in the center of the picture right now. Kind of gets banged around.
And if you're in heat number 4, you have to be thinking, I want to get into the main, maybe just 3rd or 4th, but I want to go with a car as complete as possible. I don't have time to fix it like drivers in heat number 1.
The account still staying alive out here. Now, he's the guy we talked about earlier. He'll be the number 3 car right there in the center of your screen. Mild-mannered guy, and I'm looking for that big transformation right here. Mike Perky.
Well, he's not going to get a 3,000% return on his investment if he keeps striking with the front end of that automobile. That's not good, Mike.
Number 39 there right in the center. Dwight Byers calls himself the big, the in-car camera. Man, it's getting battered around and just kind of sitting there. Candy, not a good start. You got 12 minutes left to go, and Candy is taking a couple of big hits right in the center and finally gets it moving again right there.
Yep, number 4, Candy Story. Something dragging up the back of that. Ooh.
Will Gottlob, number 27, out there looking for somebody to hit. And somebody's kind of picking on Candy there. Graduate next week from Wichita State, the Shockers.
I wonder if they had a scholarship for Demo Derby. Maybe she can get a master's.
Gottlob right there. Big car, the number 27. Oh, man, and he took out Candy right there.
And hit her with the front end. In fact, he's doing all of his real aggressive driving with the front end of the automobile. That is not typical.
We just saw right there, number 2 car. When you see that again, that's a 57 Mercury. Look at Candy still alive. Now watch this. She's going to get, wow, oh, man. Oh, baby.
She should be belted in tighter than that. Somebody needs to tell her that if she's going to do this again. She's got to get yourself in that car tight.
Let's check in with Tim.
They sent me down here to find people who were classically dressed. And all I can find is overalls. This is my 19th pair of overalls. Jason, who are you pulling for in this heat?
Number 41 on Curtis Detmer.
I'll tell you what, we're not going to have classic night. We're going to start having junior samples night here at Demolition Derby. I'm taking the money home. I'm taking the $200 home. I'm the best dressed guy in the state tonight.
You know what he'll do? He'll buy 3 pairs of overalls, and there's the man he's rooting for.
Cindy Meredith right there in the lower part of the screen. That is the other female, 22 years old. She is a nurse by profession, and I don't know how to break it to the guy that Tim was just talking to, but 41's not in this heat. Who's that 32 car there, the Kellogg's car, Steve?
Well, they're having some problems. They got that car. That's Steve Dillon out of Eaton, Ohio, and he's really stuck. And, you know, I can't think of anything better for this particular kind of action than a selection from Amadeus Wolfgang Mozart. You know it as a little night music.
That's about all they can do right now. We got red flag, got some problems out there in the track, and that usually means that either somebody's leaking very badly, on fire, or in a dangerous situation. We had a red flag earlier in heat number 1, Steve.
I wonder if it might be Candy Story. She took a pretty good lick inside that automobile. This does not mean the heat is over. It means it's just taking a temporary intermission, which we will also do right now and come back with the restart here on Motor Madness.
In action here at the Wichita Classical. Crash, let's go down and check the status with things down on the track with Bob Gerald.
Actually, guys, we're up here on the roof of the concession stand, and that is where Tom Markley is watching his brother Chad Markley, who is out there in the 51. How do you think Chad's doing so far?
He's doing real good. He's out there, and he's wanting to put on a show, and that's the way to go.
This is a family deal. You are one of 7 brothers, and you have 3 sisters, right?
Right.
And you're all involved in the Derbian?
Yeah, most of the time we try to run them and go to them. So,
Chad Markley out there in the 51 doing some hitting, guys.
Well, I'm happy to report that Candy's story was not the reason for that red flag. Her number 4 car right there, the green, orange, and blue machine. What an interesting combination. Oh, she takes a shot from the back. Wow. She was not the reason. It was a car off of, a tire rather, off of Cindy Meredith's car that was out there rolling around, Bob.
This 20 car really needs to be watched as our oh, man. Oh, Candy got tattooed right there, but she still keeps going with the 20 car, a veteran of 150 derbies. He's the guy from Minnesota that's done this. Now watch this on board again. Candy's going to take a whack from 2 sides. Oh. See, that hurts even from up here. And look at that, and she's still going. Here's the 20 car. This guy's really aggressive. He's the one that has played ice hockey with Mazdas. Hey, try that at home.
I don't think I want to. And also, he's using both ends of that automobile, equally distributing the damage.
The big problem, heat 4, minimum amount of time to get back into the final. The drivers knew this one is one you got to be aggressive because you got to be able to come at. Number 3 right there in the center. That's our count right there. Debits on the left, credits on the right. Station wagons on the left.
Stand up, sit down, fight, fight, fight. Andy Hansen, the 20 car, he is getting tag team. They're a little tired of him dominating this deal.
Good matchup, Steve. An interesting thing right here. Not a station wagon in the picture there, and that's unusual. The 64 car, they're doing a pretty good job. That's Dave Seagrass. That was Dave's pick.
And there's Perky. There's Mike Perky right there, the big car.
Mike Perky, our account, and the 64 car beating him up.
Oh,
that's
Perky.
Dave's pick again. Big hit right there. The 56 car, Guy Miller, a 74 wagon.
Got Perky right in the assets.
Big-time arena shot there. They took a big run, and the crowd here at I-81 is loving this action. Oop, we got a little fire down there for the 3 car, and that would be Mr. Perky.
Okay, he's a little overdrawn here. He's going to have to make some deposits if he wants to get to the main event. Let's go down to Tim Wilson.
Well, I'll tell you, fellas, I've searched and searched and searched for well-dressed women. And in my opinion, these are the 4 best-dressed women in Wichita. Now, I don't know if we can qualify this as classically dressed. But as far as, you know, what I like and what I think America likes, I think this may win it.
And as Jeff Foxworthy loves to say, if you can recite the Hooters menu by heart, you might be the red man.
Unbelievable that Candy is still in there. The number 4, 4th year in the derbying. Mom drove, Dad drove. What a great job she's been doing. I'll tell you, after that thing with Tim down there, it's time we liven up this thing, Steve.
I believe so. Something from composer Johannes Brahms, the Hungarian dance number 6. 2-step to it. You know, Bobby, the action in heat... Sorry, Johannes, I got to interrupt here. The action in heat number 1 was a little slim. I was getting worried about tonight. Oh, man, has it ever made up for it here? And Candy, oh, Candy is not dandy.
There's a great shot. We got to pay that camera guy a little extra money. That's the onboard camera for Candy. I cannot believe that she is still running here in this thing, Steve, which is probably more than we say for the camera guy. Do not adjust your sets at home, nor when you see the color in Candy's car. Well, it could be end of the line here for Candace. The 33 car out there, the 32 car, I'm sorry, Steve Dillon's been doing well. How about Perky staying alive?
Well, Candy might want to check in with the other lady racer, Cindy, who happens to be a nurse, because I think in the morning she's going to need some painkillers, baby.
There she is, just sitting there. She made a lot of hits and a lot of contact and took a lot of shots herself.
And she's still trying to get it fired up again. She's not giving up. She's pumping the gas.
I said, what do you like about this? She said, it's just such a rush to get out there. Going through finals in college last week, graduates next week, and right now she's sitting and probably not thinking about walking down the aisle.
And if I was her, I'd be calling Simpson and getting a good harness the next time I was going to derby.
Oh, man, look at the determination on her face. And we're about ready to wrap up heat number 4. There's the 23 car we talked about earlier. Michael Morris,
yeah.
That 57 Mercury, the Wagon Slayer, a big, heavy race car. He's got 3 more of them at home.
And there is number 3. There's our captain, Mike Perky. If he wins, he ought to invest in some 57 Mercuries. They were the most popular Derby car of the late 60s, early 70s, and you can hardly find them anymore. But who is this come rampaging through?
That's Dave Pick. That's number 64. That's David Segrist. He's got that 383 stroker motor, Steve. He said he's got a lot of money in the engine of that car, as Bobby Gerald found out earlier in the show. And he said that is the real key. I want to have a lot of power and a lot of speed.
Not so much horsepower as torque. Able to pull these muddy racetracks.
Aren't a whole lot of them still running. You got to like the 20 car. Andy Hansen is 27 years old, the cabinet maker. There's the 64 car. I just keep pointing that out for those days pick.
Well, I think Perky's got a good shot at getting in the top 4. I don't think he's going to win it, but maybe 4.
By the way, Katie's pick up.
There may be the best dressed woman in the place. Wilson, give her the $200. I will be right back with more classical crashing. I'll tell you one thing, you definitely know when the various races are over, they're this format.
Motor Madness is brought to you by Duralube, tomorrow's technology today, and by Wagner, the power to do it.
I thought I told you to be at a commercial in 30 seconds. This is Old Cowtown, Kansas. It's a living history museum located in the heart of Wichita. The Chisholm Cattle Trail came through here at one time. Jesse Chisholm was half Cherokee, which helped him get all that cattle across Cherokee Indian land. I, of course, am a 16th Cherokee myself, which means I could probably get us a couple of cheeseburgers here.
If I was the family, I'd sue Tim Wilson. I'll tell you, there's plenty of liquid flowing in the pits, only it's not in the concession stands. It's out of very hot, overflowing engines.
There's the way they wound up, and let's go down to Bobby Gerald with our winner, Andy Hansen.
That's right, and check this out, guys. A broken tie rod. That happened about halfway through the race, we understand, and Andy Hansen was still able to bring the 20 car home to a win. Andy, congratulations, and tell me about this now. You're not going to have a lot of time to fix it before the main event.
Well, thanks a lot. I got pitman on it. I got a good bunch of pitmen. I took a bad shot, probably shouldn't have took it, and got broke. Just got lucky and made it through.
There was only 4 guys left running at the end of this one. The track obviously is getting a little bit better. You guys are really trying to grab a hold of it now.
Yeah, it's working a lot better. I'm glad I wasn't in the first heat. For once, I'm glad I was in the 4th heat, and it worked out good.
Glad he's in the 4th heat, even though he's not going to have a lot of time to make things right, Tim Wilson.
Well, I'm down here with number 64, David Segrist.
Get out of character, will you?
David, we saw you in Florida.
Yes, you did.
You're doing good out here, son. We're almost tired of talking to you. You keep winning so many races, coming in second in so many races. Is the track drying up out here?
Little bit. I got to say hi to my wife and my kids, and thanks to my sponsors, Accurate Engine and Trapper's Bar and Grill.
Well, I'll tell you what, you're doing them proud. We saw you all the time in Florida. Now you're back up here in your home state. You're from Simpson, Kansas?
Yes, I am.
I understand you actually started a demolition derby craze in Simpson, Kansas.
Yeah, we're having one June 8th. Everybody bring the car down.
You're pretty much the god of demolition derby in Simpson.
Oh, I don't know about all that.
Take a look at a humble demolition derby king. There he is, ladies and gentlemen. Back upstairs to the losers.
Wait a minute, can't be talking to us.
No, I guess not.
Look at that. That's our in-car camera, and look at this getting towed away. Unbelievable. Boy, the technician's going, you know, what have they done to my camera out there? We want to point out something. By the way, that David back at the studio had another one in the finals. Look at this.
Now, this was at our last demo derby event. We had to go off the air before Doug Rose got to incinerate an Oldsmobile Delta 88. We're going to just tease you right now. Later on, we're going to show you the entire footage with a little classical music under it. It's wonderful stuff. Right now, let's go back to Katie and David Charlotte.
Yeah, David, the psychic over here, he seems to be picking everybody the right way.
And Bob Fry, I'm just so impressed with the job you're doing tonight. I got to tell you that, Bob. And
why, is he picking these guys for you? Is that the secret?
You know, later, we got the table set over here now, and we're going to be serving up some wonderful cuisine.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. What are we going to have?
Well, all kinds of stuff.
Starving,
you know,
bring
the
it
Vichy
on.
Soie and the Chateaubriand.
Vichy Soie?
All that French stuff from Chez Antoine.
Well, Antoine needs to bring it on.
Hey, when we come back, we are going to go talk with Bobby Labonte. Actually, Eli is going to go talk to Bobby Labonte.
The elephant.
Oh, well, you know, and the other thing we're going to do is, you wonder who's had a Maylocks Minute tonight?
Yeah.
Well, I think that was John Gormley Jr. Now, watch this, John. Now, hang on. Oh.
Look at him. He's going up on top of the rock.
John, you better get out the Maylocks.
You'll feel better. So Bobby is not the son of Terry. No.
And you know, the only thing I've ever heard him say that he would like to do other than drive race cars is fly a plane. And Wichita is the air capital of
Well, what a transition.
I think so.
Oh, boy, taking place in Wichita back there. Unbelievable. The Green Mamba has nothing to do with Mother's Day, does it?
No.
Okay, good. They're out there burning cars in Wichita. Take a look at this.
Just a few weeks ago at Dixie Speedway in Atlanta, Doug Rose was on hand, and we'd hoped to show you what they call a jet car burning. Doug, one of the premier jet dragsters, instead of going 300 chains and Oldsmobile, will build to the back of the Green Mamba and hit the afterburner.
It's not a stick-shift car, is it?
No, Bobby Gerald could drive this, actually. And in just a moment, from composer Mazursky, you're going to hear Night on Bear Mountain. And we're going to shut up, let you listen and watch. Night on Bolt, whatever it is, Bear Bolt, same thing.
It actually is. Well, you would be bald or bare after that. See the Green Mamba May 17th at Myrtle Beach. Down in South Carolina, see the finals coming up here next.
All right. We got to get back to the big event in Wichita, Kansas, the Demo Derby, and they're about ready to crown the king, I guess, so to speak.
Now, they've hammered them all out. They've been through the heats, and now they got to get them ready for the final, and who you can pick?
I'm going to pick the guy I went with, Curtis Dittmer. He is still out there. He's car number 41. He has that checkered car, and he's out there with a 75 Impala. And he's, well, actually the only one that I picked that made it to the finals.
I, on the other hand, having had two to choose from, actually, I'm going to go with Jamie Pribble, the number 9 car. Remember, he is the hog buyer. All that bacon, all that ribs, all that ham. I mean, can't go wrong.
He's the meat man, yeah,
The meat man, Jamie Pribble. Let's go.
All right, well, we'll be back. Okay, well, watch those guys. 41, and what was your number?
9.
Number 9, 41 9. Check them out, and let's see who finally wins this event. Take it away, boys.
Katie and Dave, candlelit dinner for 2? There will be 16 cars in our classical crash final. 4 from each of the heats. Let's go down to Bob Gerald.
Janelle Saraki is one of the finalists. She made it out of heat race number 2. Her husband did not make it, though. Congratulations and happy birthday to you tonight.
Thank you very much.
What do you think here now about the final? What's the strategy for you?
Just go out and hit them boys. I know they'll hit me first if I don't.
Your husband give you any advice here before the beginning of this one?
Just go out there and kick some butt.
And what'd you say to him?
Sure thing.
You didn't say, whatever you say, dear.
Whatever you say, dear.
That's what we were looking for, Tim.
I feel like Ed McMahon on this interview. This is car number 41. Look at the black and white checks on this car. It matches my tux. This is Curtis Dittmer. Curtis, I have great news. You have won Best Dressed Car, which means you win a $200 prize. I'm proud because you're the first person I've been able to give money away to today. Let's hope you spend some on clothes. Who are you going to spend this money on?
On probably my 3 sons. I need to say hi to them first thing. Denton, Dylan, and Dawson, and my 2 nephews, Ethan and Wesley, back home.
Well, I expect you to win this thing, but if you don't win it, you're $200 richer, Curtis.
Thanks a lot.
Have a good one. Let's go back up to the Midnight Water Polo Twins.
Hey, that's Katie's pick. He has 0 chance of winning. He's got a son named Denton, and the number 56 guy here's got a son named Derby. Tim Heffley, my pick to win this. Bobby Arms coming out of heat number 1. Also advancing from that heat, Rob Baker and Curtis Dittmer. Alan Wasinger. And there's Janelle, number 7. She has advanced. Arden Zangi, everything from A to Z here. And Jamie Pribble, that's Dave's pick. From heat number 3, Darrell Fichter and Jet Fromholz, 23 years. He's been racing in the demo derbies. Pete Beaumont, Dave Segrist, also Andy Hansen. I like Andy from the number 4 heat there.
If I had to pick one guy at 64, David Segrist.
And Doug Miller is the guy with the son named Derby. We don't write him. We just read him.
The last car being pulled into position, and take a look at the format. 8 on one end, 8 on the other end. There's the flag from Jimmy. The final classical crash is underway.
Here we come, an arena shot. Oh, right out of the box. How about that hit on Chad Martley, the family affair? That's the 51 car. They have a Brazilian family members here this weekend. I like the 20 car right there, Andy Hansen. And there's Heffley. That was my pick earlier. That 75 Impala with the onboard camera out of Oklahoma. That was a classical song, wasn't it?
You don't have to worry about saving anything now. In fact, you don't want to. You want to get out there and smash and crash and bash and try to knock wheels off if you can. Put them in the fence. There are no rules now.
Look at that 20 car out of the last heat. And there we have a big hit. That's Janelle right there in the number 7 car. The launch. Oh, wow. She took a shot right there from Andy Wasinger, who has never won a Derby. Our birthday girl here. Oh, and she just like
she's shaken up. She's got to be shaken up. That's why you really want to brace the seats in these things. Let's see if Janelle can come back from that.
2 big hits. We'll see this again on the replay. She's just sitting there.
First from the back. And now this is the one that really hurts.
Boy, she took 2 big hits. Here's the Zebra car, still doing well. They're really banging up. Jamie Pribble in the number 9 car. That's Dave's pick. A graduate of the University of Nebraska. Go Huskers.
Does that say something about the curriculum?
If you're sending letters from the conference there, that was Steve.
Best football team money can buy.
A big hit right there. Tell you what, we haven't had any of that classical music for a while. Hey, this will be the Dance of the Hours. This is theme number 6, I believe, if memory serves me correctly. Stephen?
It is indeed. Dance of the Hours.
Anybody that hits right at the crescendo of the music gets $200 from Tim. Tim's making the big bucks. He's the star. You heard him saying that.
I'll tell you, the big stars right now are out in the center of this straightaway at 81 Speedway. Remember, there's an extra $1,000 at stake here from Wagner plus the event purse, and it's getting rowdy.
Yep, there's Tim Heffley in the middle there at a heat number 1. The onboard camera at 75 Impala's doing a great job. There's some real whacking. Darrell Fichter, the guy that's engaged, looking to get married. His fiancée might be having second thoughts right about now. Dead in the water is the 25 car of Walter Reidinger. Sorry to tell you that, Dave, back there at the studio. We'll be back with the finals. See who survives at the classical crash.
Demolition Man.
We're back live at the classical crash where they have taken the gloves off here in the main event. Bob Price, vicious hitting. It's amazing that everybody is surviving this, both car and driver. Just incredible. It's painful to watch.
Right there in the middle, a classic example of what we're seeing here in this heat. There are 3 cars there that all just slammed up and ran into one another. Bobby Arms, the figure 8, and the bus demo driver. There's Tim Heffley right in the center. Oh, some big hits. There have been some monster hits. 29 car right there, Pete Beaumont. He's the guy that told me I win every time I go out. Curtis Dittmer, the 41 car there, and the number 24 car, our figure 8 plus demo champion, has been putting on some monster moves.
That's Bobby Arms, the blue and white car. Let's go down to Tim. It's getting really rowdy out there, Tim.
Fellas, everywhere I go in this Tux, romance breaks out. This is Jay Hancock and Allison. Jay just asked Allison to marry him 45 minutes ago. Jay, why at a demolition derby?
Greatest place to be. There's all kinds of American drag racing right here. We're ready to go.
Allison, from now on, every time you see a junk car, you're going to think of the night he asked you to marry you.
I will definitely think of it every time. I do anyway.
Well, here we're going to do. We're going to make this official. I have Angela Gray, my bride here. She is going to throw the bouquet to Allison. We're going to make it official.
And to make it more official, Tim's going to give the bride $200. He just giving everybody money. Jamie Primble, the number 9 car, right there, and he took a whack from behind Steve. I am really surprised there are so many cars still staying in. Janelle, our birthday girl, right in the middle, and she's gotten spun around from one side to the other, and I don't believe she's got anything left in that car.
There's only about 5 minutes left, and I think Janelle wishes there were about 10 seconds left. She's taken a horrible pounding. The 25 car, that's Walter Rittinger. That was Dave's pick back in the studio, and it ain't looking good, Dave.
Yeah, somewhere back there, Katie's going, na-na-na-na-na-na. The Zebra car is taking a whack over there. That Marlon Perkins is his crew chief over there in the pit area. The 64 car is doing a wonderful job. Dave Segrist, whose car says on the dashboard, Born Pit Derby. He just took a hit right there. The 24 car, Bobby Arms, that's the left-hand part of the screen, doing a wonderful job here.
Well, the 64 car, Dave Segrist, was kind of my pick. Can I change horses in the middle?
No. I'm telling you.
Get on that seahorse you fell off of during water polo?
There you go. That's that Steve Grissom Cartoon Network car. No, it's not. I'll tell you who's doing well here. Tim Heffley from heat number 1, our onboard camera. And watch this, because
they're going for big hits here, Bobby.
Pete Beaumont's going to whack somebody big time right here. That's our onboard camera. And he's going to get ready for one of those shots if he can head his steam up and get it going backwards. But it looks like he is, well, he's still running. Amazing. That big old wide body 75. Oh, he took a hit right there, right in the camera.
You can hear the audio. Oh, you can hear his bones creaking. Oh, and another shot. Man, if you ever do this, folks, pad the cars. Pad everything you can pad. Pad your bod.
Make sure you don't try this at home. These are trained professionals.
That's right.
If you do, make sure you use somebody else's car. Here comes the second hit. You saw that onboard camera thing. He just sitting there and kaboom. Just about took the camera out right there. Big hit for Heffley, but he is still moving. Still moving.
It doesn't have a whole lot of vision forward, but that doesn't matter. He's not using that end of the car anyway as a weapon. And there's where they intentionally, look at the checkerboard car, design those, cut the chassis with a wind up like that. It become literally a battering ram.
That's Curtis Dittmer, and that was Katie's pick. Katie's pick. The guy with the sun name.
Don't interrupt them. They're enjoying their candlelight dinner for two.
Rob Baker, his dad was a 2-time champ. Alan Wassinger likes to restore those old muscle cars. He's got one at home that he's putting together right now. Well, not right now. He has never won a demo derby car, the number 77. And I'll tell you what better way to end this with some really classical music.
That's right. Tchaikovsky coming at you, the 1812 Overture.
Makes me think of... Not good for the onboard camera.
Not good.
How about the Zebra car staying around? Jed Fromholz, 23 years he's been doing this, and what a wonderful job here today.
Often when this is performed live by symphony orchestras, they use cannons for a particular note. Well, here we're using slamming and banging.
Oh, man. Let's go down and check with Tim real quick. Timmy.
I, Tim, take the Angela to be the winner of our best-dressed classical demolition derby crash in Utah winner. Nobody even came close, Angela. Congratulations, you win $200.
Thank you very much. I'm so excited.
Are you married?
Yeah, I just got married last year, 1 week on the 18th.
Well, congratulations, you're a little richer. Back upstairs, fellas.
Obviously, geography was never Tim's long suit. That's dressed in Utah. There's Heffley right out there in the center, doing a great job. And Jet Bromholtz and one of those two guys, and maybe Rob Baker, whose dad won 2 national championships, too. He started back in the 80s with that 10 car. Might be able to survive this puppy. Wait a minute. I feel the cannon shots coming on, Steve. Just about here. Cue the cannons.
No, do not turn your TV set on its side. Oh. I think the cannon shot scored a direct hit right there. Oh, fire, big time.
Oh, what a wonderful show.
Thank you, Pete Tchaikovsky.
You call him Pete and you've known him for a long while. Ladies and gentlemen, it's
over. Brunhilde von Valkyrie, what a fabulous job she has done. I think her horns grew a couple inches since she started.
I beg your pardon. Oh, horns, okay. Oh, man. Look at that. Some great hits in the finals. What a way to wrap it up. We'll be back and crown the champion. Oh, at the classical crash in just a moment. That one hurt me, Steve.
Courtesy cars provided by Rusty Eck Ford, 7310 East Kellogg in Wichita, the home of Ford Man. For all your vehicle needs, call Rusty Eck Ford toll-free at 1-800-685-9212. And Rusty, the one with the 5-speed, got no use whatsoever. All right, it is over. Tim Heffley flying high. The American Airlines mechanic has won it all here at the classical crash. Not a lot left of it. Not a lot to take the auction. It's not exactly a clean one owner, right?
There you go, bottom up. Beaumont, Arms, Baker, Jet Bromholtz, some great finalists. Tim Heffley gets the win. The guy that said, I've been doing this too long. The American Airlines mechanic, and what a great, great job. Tim Heffley with the win and everything. And once again, we will end this the way we started it out. Nice little organ music.
The mighty Wurlitzer has failed to fire. But Heffley has definitely fired. Oh, man, what a happy guy.
There's his car, or what's left of it. Let's go down with the smiling winner. This is Tim Heffley and Bobby Gerald.
And he is in the Duralube winner's circle. And Tim Heffley, congratulations on a big win there. You gave it a try in our last one at Georgia, but tonight you got it all right.
Yeah, we come with the station wagon, you know. We got down there at Georgia and seen that the wagons was doing good. This is the first time I've ever run a wagon, and we'll have to stick with them.
Now, early on in the heat races, it was real sloppy out there, but you guys really got to do some hitting there during that main event. How vicious was the contact?
There was some extremely hard hitting. If we had in-car cameras, I think they've seen it.
Now, at the end of the year, we're going to have the big intergalactic crunch-off. You're automatically entered in this deal now by winning this. You think you can go up against the best in the world from all over the United States and take home the biggest trophy?
I've got some of the best sponsors and the best crew, and we're going to be there. We're going to give it our best shot. There's a lot of tough competition all over this place, and every one of these guys deserved this. I just got lucky.
All right, and he's going to be taking home the Duralube winner's check for $1,000. He'll get that Duralube jacket. Tim Heffley is a happy man, guys.
And also, the top 3 finishers in the Wichita Classical Crash will all receive valuable gift certificates from B&M Racing and Automotive Products. Let's try the mighty Wurlitzer again.
Right behind the main grandstand.
Where's the cymbals player? How's he do that?
Let me tell you what, that is the big dog of organs.
Nice job there by Barry Bagel. Let's get down now to Tim Wilson.
I'm with our second place winner, Jet Fromholtz. He may have won second place in the race, but he won first place in these overalls. This is the best pair I've seen all day. How'd you feel out there tonight?
No, I felt great. It was really a good track, and that's a good derby. I'm glad it went as long as it did.
Man, your car looks like it took a little beating over there, though.
I was really hammering them away there. I knew what I had to do to be here, so I was trying my best.
Well, I'll tell you what, this is a second-place winner, but if it's time to go out and have the axe handle fight after the race, I think we've got our winner here. Man, you're a big guy.
Yes, sir.
Back upstairs to our nemesis.
Make it good. Make it good.
You know, the action tonight was terrific, but if you're around this area tomorrow night, Saturday night, Speedway fans can enjoy all kinds of stuff. The first time in their history, two late model sanctioning organizations will get together head-to-head in a special late model challenge. From 20 states they're coming, $20,000 in prize money. And our thanks to C. Ray Hall and all the fine folks here at 81 Speedway. We hope they have a packed house again tomorrow night.
It's a great job, a great final. Let's get down and catch up with Bobby Gerald.
Well, guys, we all saw a big hit that Janelle Saraki took, and she's being tended to by the medics down here. We'll talk with Terry while Terry is over here checking on Janelle. She all right?
Yeah, she's all right. She's got a good cut above her eye, and they say she needs some stitches, but she don't really know for sure.
All in a hard day's work here, and were you cheering her on there in the final?
Yeah, I was trying. I was going up on the stand up there and trying to come down here and see where she was, but you get a lot of other drivers wanting their vote and everything else, but it's hard to do.
Guys, she took a real good look, but she's going to be back for more.
Well, in the background, we saw Janelle, when she saw the camera, look over and give it a thumbs up. I'm okay. I'm okay. What a lady. You know, we talked about all of the different prizes. Did we mention B&M Racing and automotive products and crane cams and an awful lot of aftermarket manufacturers that are helping out here?
$1,000 check, of course, assuming that Bobby Gerald will share that, the B&M Racing and Automotive gift certificate. Crane Cams gift certificates, and for Bobby Gerald, a course on how to drive a stick-shift transmission, and for Tim Wilson, a course on how to pick up snappy dresses in the grandstands.
And let's remember, this is an addition to the purse posted here by 81 Speedway, so probably about $3,000 collected by the winner. Right now, I guess our work is done. We enjoyed the classical crash with all the music. Right now, let's go back to the studio and the couple. Well, final words from here at 81 Speedway. Tim Heffley in the yellow with the jacket on, the prize jacket, and Jet Fromholtz. They had a little fun spraying some expensive champagne. For all of us here, hope you enjoyed the classical crash.
We'll see you next week.
Unbelievable.
Oh, lovely.
Unbelievable.
Motor Madness is brought to you by